You are not living your life. You are editing it for people who are barely watching. Every smile, every opinion, every achievement, every photo slowly becomes part of a role. And the terrifying part is this: after enough time, you stop asking what feels true. You only ask how it will look. That is how the performance begins, not on a stage, but inside your own mind. The audience is not always real. Sometimes no one is watching, but the mind behaves as if someone is. A stranger, a future viewer, a person you envy, a person you want to impress. And slowly, this imaginary audience becomes louder than your own inner voice. You do not need a camera to perform. You only need to feel observed. People do not only post their lives anymore. They edit themselves. The right angle, the right emotion, the right opinion, the right version of pain. Even sadness becomes content if it can be shaped into something beautiful enough to be approved. And this is where something inside you begins to disappear, because the edited self always looks better, but it feels less real. Success has become a costume. People wear productivity. They wear confidence. They wear happiness. They wear ambition. Not because it is always real, but because looking like you are winning has become almost as important as actually being alive. And many people are exhausted from pretending they are not exhausted. They are not tired from living. They are tired from performing strength. Even happiness now needs witnesses. A quiet moment is no longer enough. It must be captured, shared, proven. The meal must be photographed. The trip must be documented. The relationship must be displayed. And slowly, people stop asking if the moment is real. They only ask if the moment is usable. This is how life becomes content, and content begins to replace life. The mask gets rewarded first. It gets attention. It gets approval. It gets likes, compliments, invitations, opportunities. So the real self learns to stay quiet, because the world does not always reward honesty. It rewards the version of you that is easiest to consume. The simple version, the attractive version, the confident version, the version that does not make anyone uncomfortable. But the part of you that is not shown begins to starve. The quiet part, the honest part, the part that does not know how to perform, the part that is confused, afraid, tired, unfinished. That part does not fit easily into an image. So you hide it. And if you hide it long enough, you may become visible to strangers and unknown to yourself. Comparison turns other people into instructions. Someone else's body becomes your failure. Someone else's income becomes your shame. Someone else's relationship becomes proof that your life is behind. And without noticing it, you stop building a life from your own values. You start building one from your insecurity. You no longer ask, "What do I want?" You ask, "What will make me look less behind?" The performance trap feeds on one hidden fear. The fear of being ordinary. The fear that if you are not impressive, you are invisible. If you are not admired, you are nothing. So people decorate the emptiness. They polish the image. They build a brand around a wound they never healed. Because being ordinary started to feel like failure, and being seen started to feel like survival. Even the body becomes part of the performance. Not health, not strength, not peace, but display. A face to be optimized, a body to be judged, a lifestyle to be consumed. And the more a person becomes an image, the harder it becomes to feel real without being seen. You begin to look at yourself from the outside, even when you are alone. Approval is a drug. At first it feels harmless, a compliment, a like, a little recognition. But soon the silence after approval begins to feel like withdrawal. You need the next signal, the next proof, the next reminder that you exist in someone else's mind. And that is the trap. You stop living from your center. You start living from the reaction. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. Who are you when no one is watching? When there is nothing to post, nothing to prove, no audience to impress, no role to maintain? If the answer feels unclear, it is not because you are empty. It is because you have been performing for too long. The real self does not disappear. It waits beneath the noise. Freedom begins when you stop turning every moment into evidence. Let something be private again. Let a walk be only a walk. Let a meal be only a meal. Let sadness exist without becoming an aesthetic. Let progress happen quietly. Some parts of your life must belong only to you. Not because they are meaningless, but because they are sacred. Not everything needs an audience. Your pain does not become more real when it is seen. Your growth does not become more valuable when it is praised. Your life does not become more meaningful when it is displayed. The deepest changes often happen where no one can applaud them. And that is why they are real, because they were not performed, they were lived. To become real again, you do not need to disappear. You do not need to reject people. You do not need to hate the world. You only need to stop betraying yourself for approval. Say what is true. Do what is necessary. Build what matters. Even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. Because that is where character is formed. The performance trap ends when the audience loses its throne. When you no longer need to turn your existence into evidence. When your private life becomes sacred again. So ask yourself, if no one could see it, if no one could praise it, if no one could envy it, would you still choose this life? If the answer is no, then it was never your life. It was only your performance. Stop performing, start living.